Before I begin, I would like to recognize Murat Tatli, who runs the Raindrop Foundation in Lenexa. He's done a great job putting all of this together. He was my tour guide. I don't know how many of you are out here, he was your tour guide, but I would like for him to stand for just a minute and let us recognize him. Anytime a politician begins a speech by telling you they're going to be brief, it's a good idea to make sure you got enough coins in the meter. That being said, I'm going to be brief. When Murat asked me to speak tonight, I had to reflect on how exactly it was that I got here this evening. And the answer can be summed up with two very grateful thank yous to Jackson County Legislator Teresa Garza-Ruiz and Kansas City Prosecutor Beth Marana, who are both here with us this evening. Each one of these lovely ladies shared their trip to Turkey with me, and both concluded, you have to go see this for yourself. I believe them, I took them up on it, and thank you both. I do. The importance of that fact cannot be underestimated, because it's how true change happens. One person at a time, one conversation at a time. Interfaith dialogue is important because it works. There's no substitute for experience when trying to understand our differences, but more significantly, the common ground where we all stand. I can remember the first time I pulled into the Raindrop Foundation parking lot. I admit I was a little apprehensive. I walked into the foundation looking at the pictures on the wall, the maps, all the decorations, and the term foreigner came to my mind, and I started thinking, what is it that makes these folks Turkish? Who are the Turks? Why do they want to take me halfway across the globe? And what am I going to discover when I get there? Tonight, as I stand before you, that apprehension was silly. I now know, looking out at Murat and Ali and everybody who is on my trip, that they're no longer foreign, but they're friends. And interfaith dialogue is important because it works. Now I want to talk just a little bit about Fethullah Gulen, the speaker the doctor had told us about. Here's a man who has been called one of the world's leading intellectuals. And for all of our materialism, the world of entertainment that we live in, when the news media is constantly consumed with who has the power, who wants the power, who's abusing the power, Gulen seeks no recognition, no political office, no monetary gain. He simply writes and lectures about a global community where love and spirituality can coexist with science and technology. His teachings have spawned an enlightened movement in Turkey, where the three basic tenets of his followers are to build schools, build hospitals, and get to know your neighbors spiritually through interfaith dialogue. In preparation for my trip, I read a great deal of Gulen's writings. In them, I found words of tolerance, compassion, and a sincere interest to bring people of many different faiths together to promote a religious understanding. In one of his books of essays, he adds a passage of a publication titled, A Declaration Regarding the Church's Relations with Non-Christian Religions. The passage asks deep and complicated questions. What is man? What is the meaning and purpose of life? What is goodness and reward? What is sin? What is the point of suffering? What is the path to true happiness? And what is death? These questions come from the Christian worldview. And as Gulen points out, these are the same questions asked in Islam, in Judaism, in Hinduism, and Buddhism. And that's when it occurred to me that these questions are our common ground. The more minds, the greater diversity of thought, the closer we may come to understanding what human really means. So from foreign to friend, one conversation at a time, what we're doing here tonight is important because interfaith dialogue works. Thank you.